Is Mr. O'Halloran for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just going to have a couple of comments based on what I heard and a couple of questions. My district has all or 6 national forests. Some of them are in direct bordering on the Grand Canyon, which is in my district. And first of all, let me thank the administration for putting it up to $15 an hour, but that's a ridiculous number. These firefighters are away from their families for an extended period of time. I've been to a large amount of type 1 and type 2 incidents where I've seen these young people coming off the line, exhausted, going into small tents and sleeping for a short period of time, and then getting back up and going out and risking their lives to save communities and our natural resources. That is $15 an hour. I don't know where that number came from, but let's hope that we in Congress can do a lot better than that. And I know a lot of the firefighters that come from local jurisdictions are side by side with them and working very hard also, but making a lot more money than they are and risking the same amount of life. The other thing is the 38% loss of workforce. As you indicated, Chief, that was over a number of years. That was something that was said time and time and time again. I've said it the entire time I was in the legislature. I asked Congress to do something. Since I've been in Congress, we've tried to find ways to address that issue. Some of it has been addressed, but the timeline is too short to be able to get it up to where we need it to be. But the idea that we just said, well, we'll just fight these fires and cut the workforce down. And of course, NEPA and all these those people are taken off the lines. Our type 1 people come right from the Forest Service. Our firefighters, they come right from the Forest Service. I see the offices when they can't be as productive because they're out fighting fires. And Mr. Panetta talked about law enforcement. Red Rock Ranger District in my district has millions of visitors every year. They have 2 law enforcement officers. I'm a former law enforcement officer. I know that those officers are hardly out there because of days off, because of sickness, because of court time, because of paperwork. There is no law enforcement in the Red Rock Ranger District, or for that matter, in the 1 million+ acres of the Coconino National Forest, or many other national forests around this country. Again, Congress has been not willing to put the money forward. And I'm glad to hear people start to talk about landscapes work. Now, we just had a couple of fires up in the district. Well, actually, a lot of them, 14 in one weekend. But the uncharacteristic fire severity is causing more post-fire flooding. Northern Arizonans know all too well. This summer, those living in Flagstaff neighborhoods below the museum fire from 2019 that are continuing, the burn area is continuing to face severe flooding in areas that never flooded before. And then when, as you know, Chief, when this stuff comes out of those mountains, it not only brings a ton of stuff down, but at the speeds it comes down those mountains, it just moves right into neighborhoods and just rips people apart. And the intense fire behavior jeopardizes the long-term watershed health and water quality. What's your opinion on what we can do? I heard you say 60,000 acres of funding. Well, that's near ridiculous as far as why haven't we moved as fires have increased up to the higher levels?
Thank you, Congressman O'Halloran. I think you stated the problem very well. I just wanted you to know that we're doing everything we can with what we have, and if we have more, we'll do more. But that's for you all to decide in terms of what more looks like. I can assure you, though, we're committed to the job that you all have given us as federal employees. And we're also committed to working with people in the communities and our neighbors to look at landscape type treatments rather than just jurisdictional boundaries only.
Thanks,
So
Chief. I just have to say that the bear issue is huge, that the idea that we also have the law enforcement issue, and you and I will talk about that later at some time. And Madam Chair, I will be sending in more questions for follow-up and also documentation for the record.